Welcome to this WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show as I'm reviewing the Monday Night Raw from December 30th, 2024, the last Monday Night Raw of the year 2024 from Houston, Texas. Make sure you guys hit that like button and like and subscribe to Tim Reynolds Show on YouTube. As we see, this Monday Night Raw was kicked off with the New Day, who came out to the ring to address the crowd and the WWE Universe, but they would not let them get a word in at all, as we seen them rain down a bunch of boos upon the New Day, and with the new chant, "New Day sucks, New Day sucks," and then we would see main event Jey Uso come out to interrupt the New Day, and Jay would tell the New Day that I only got one thing to say to you: New Day sucks. New Day sucks. And he'd also say, as New Day walks out of the ring, that I'm not even out here for them. I'm out here with my business with Drew McIntyre. After what McIntyre did to main event Jey Uso a few weeks ago, attacking him on Monday Night Raw, and after what happened last week when we seen Sami Zayn and main event Jey Uso be jumped by Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. And that's who would show up on the Videotron, as Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline had a message for Jey saying, you should have never teamed back up with Roman Reigns at Survivor Series after what he did to you and Sami, and you already seen what happened to Sami when he got too involved in our Bloodline business. You should have chose this Bloodline and kept the family together, but since you did it, now I have to make an example out of you to get the attention of Roman Reigns before we see Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns go one-on-one on Raw on Netflix, as it's Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief. And what will happen? Well, now we see Solo Sikoa sending a big message to Jey Uso telling him to watch his back. Well, guess what? Drew McIntyre comes out of nowhere to attack Jey Uso to kick off Monday Night Raw, but Jey Uso would fight back until Drew McIntyre would connect with a Glasgow kiss, but that would not be all. After security tries to take Drew McIntyre out of the arena, he would run right back into the ring to deliver a Claymore to main event Jey Uso, laying him out in the middle of the ring and making a huge statement to kick off Monday Night Raw. Next on Raw, we would see a backstage interview with Chad Gable of American Made, who is sick of everybody saying that he can't win a championship title and that he's ducking Otis, as this would lead to our first match on Raw, where we would see Chad Gable go one-on-one with Otis of Alpha Academy, but it would only be a matter of time before we would see American Made get involved in this matchup, with Alpha Academy trying to have Otis's back as well, but Chad Gable would take advantage of the distraction and defeat Otis in this match with an ankle lock, forcing Otis to tap out. Even though Otis put up a really good fight in this one, Chad Gable gets the victory and makes a statement here on Raw. Then next up, we see backstage as the Judgment Day are talking about what Liv Morgan's plan will be going up against Rhea Ripley next week, as the Women's World Champion will have to defend her championship against Rhea Ripley, as we seen a video promo just before this, as both ladies say this finally needs to be done, and they will finish it at WWE's Monday Night Raw on Netflix, as Finn Balor would come up to say, hey guys, we need to make sure we get right back on track, and remember, when we listen to Finn, we win, because we need to go make a statement out there against the War Raiders and Damian Priest. But we would also see Finn Balor say to Raquel Rodriguez, after the rest of the Judgment Day walked away, that he wants to wish from the bottom of his heart all the best of luck to Liv Morgan next week, and tells Raquel to tell that to Liv Morgan. I wonder what's going to happen here, as it looks like cracks are still starting to come out of this faction in the Judgment Day, as they don't really all seem to be on the same page. Then we see next up on Monday Night Raw, a backstage interview with Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Io Sky, as both of these members of Damage Control will be in the Women's Intercontinental semifinals coming up here on Monday Night Raw. And they were asked on whether or not they would have to face each other if they're scared of that, and they aren't, because they both would just be happy to see one member of Damage Control become the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. And this would lead to our next match of the evening, as we would see Dakota Kai take on Zoe Starks of Pure Fusion Collective in the first semifinal of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. And Dakota Kai would get the victory over Zoe Stark as she now advances to the finals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament with that victory. And then next up here, guys, we would see our next match of the evening, as we would have a 6-man tag match with the Judgment Day's JD McDonough, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor going up against the team of the War Raiders and Damian Priest. And we would see an epic match between these two teams and a back and forth athletic matchup inside this square ring. But we would see Finn Balor and the Judgment Day be up to their old tricks, and they get the victory over Damian Priest and the War Raiders to make a big statement here on Monday Night Raw with that victory, as Finn Balor and JD McDonough look to get back in the World Tag Team Championship picture with that victory over the War Raiders, who are World Tag Champions. Next on Raw, we would see backstage Jey Uso pissed off after he was attacked by Drew McIntyre early in the night, and he runs into General Manager Adam Pearce, who says, "Hey, I know you're upset and you're looking for a fight, so if you want one, you got it." Next week on Raw's debut on Netflix, it will be Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with main event Jey Uso, and Jey says, "Yeet." And we would see next up after this, Ludwig Kaiser would come out to the ring to call out the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. But Kaiser would get more than he bargained for, as Sheamus would show up to interrupt Ludwig, and he would come after looking for a fight, as we would see Sheamus come and attack Ludwig Kaiser and make a huge statement. But Kaiser would also fire right back against Sheamus, as now these two had to be separated by security. And now we'll have to wait to see if Sheamus will get his hands on Ludwig Kaiser next week on Monday Night Raw. Then next up after this, guys, we would see backstage Rey Mysterio trying to get a bit of advice to Otis after his loss against Chad Gable. As a locker room leader, you know Rey Mysterio is definitely going to be one of those guys to try to lift up the guys back in the locker room. But of course, we would then see the New Day, who took exception to this, insulting Rey Mysterio, saying, "You're supposed to be some type of locker room leader? What kind of advice are you going to give him anyways, right?" And then we would also see Rey Mysterio challenge the New Day to a match, saying, "If you want to run your mouth and insult me, how about we take you guys on in a tag match?" And we would have to wait to hopefully see these guys go up against each other next week on Monday Night Raw. Then next up on Monday night, we would then see our next match of the evening, as Lila Valkyria would take on Io Sky in our next semifinal matchup in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. And what an epic match we had between these two ladies, as these women, two of the best in the women's division for WWE, lay it all on the line as the fans were chanting, "This is awesome!" And we would see an upset victory by Lila Valkyria as she advances to the finals to take on Dakota Kai in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. And next, to conclude Monday Night Raw, we would see Seth freaking Rollins come out to say, "Hey, let's send this year off with a bang," as we would see Seth Rollins says that it's the Second City Saints, so he's called the best in the world, huh? Well, how about we see the best in the world, so-called, go up against the actual best in the world, and I plan on stomping out CM Punk on Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix, and I'll be here right after it's long gone. But where is CM Punk gonna be after I stomp him in the ground? Nowhere. He's gonna be like a crying puppy going home with this ball. So why don't you just go ahead and go home now, CM Punk? And then Punk would come out to interrupt Seth Rollins as CM Punk Punk would come out to tell Seth Rollins that you think I just left? You think I just took my ball and went home? Did Steve Austin do that? Did the man, Becky Lynch, your wife, do that? I haven't seen her around here in a while. And then we would see CM Punk after this saying, you really want me to tell them all here in Houston and everyone in the WWE universe that I turned my back on them and abandoned them? No, that is not what I did. As we would see CM Punk say, I got tired of all the shit going on here and you just decided to stay and take it. We've both made our decisions and now we have to live with it. So don't talk to me about the 10 years. Don't talk to me about the last 10 years. I want to talk about the last 10 months. Are you okay, Seth? What have you been up to besides being injured? How's your neck? How's your knee? And how about your feud with Bronson Reed when he took you out with several tsunamis? I seen that happen right here in this ring. And did you hardly get any revenge on Bronson Reed? No. Instead, you got to watch me break his freaking ankle at Survivor Series War Games. Punk then says, when I came back, I said I wasn't here to make friends. I'm here to make money. And next week, I'm going to make a boatload of money, making you the victim that you so badly want to be, little brother. And that's when Seth Rollins would say, cut that little brother crap out. When you left, you wanted this place to die. And you took every shot you could to tear this place down, to tear this business down, to tear the locker room down. But you couldn't do it. And then when you couldn't, what did you do? You took a big chunk of change from the competition, and how did that work out for you? I stayed here in the trenches, says Rollins, because that's where revolutions are made. And you can't just come and join our team like you are part of it and wave our flag or something. No, no, no. I'm not going to let that happen, and you're not going to big brother me because I'm the big brother now. So I will be taking another 10 years off of your career, but it won't be by your choice or decision, but by one that I force upon you. As CM Punk would then respond by saying, you can always tell the pioneers by the arrows in their back. You wouldn't be here, Seth Rollins, if it wasn't for me. I loved this place. I loved where I worked. I just hated the guy who was running it. But guess what? He loved you. CM Punk then tells Rollins, you should have had my back in all those situations, but instead, all you did was shoot arrows in it. And now after you stabbed Roman Reigns in the back, you want to stand here dressed like an idiot and play victim in a situation you created? And he would also say that arrows kill weak people, but the greats rise above all odds and find a way to march forward and pull the arrows out of their back. And he would say when he had enough, when he managed to pull all those arrows out of his back and find a way to come back to the WWE, it was because all these people kept chanting his name, CM Punk. I should be dead, but I'm not. And those arrow throwers are mad about that. And next week, I'm going to show up with a fistful of arrows so I can shove them down your corporate throat. And CM Punk sends a huge message to Seth Rollins before Rollins would respond in conclusion, saying that he once may have thought of CM Punk as a pioneer, but now you're just a cancer in this locker room, a cancer in this business, a cancer in this ring, and a cancer in his brain, as he plans on cutting that cancer out, because there's only one way you can defeat cancer, by cutting it all out. And he plans on saying that you bring your fistful of arrows, because I'm gonna bring the fire that's burning in my eyes and burning in my heart and the hatred that burns deep inside me, and all of it for my full hate and rage upon you, and I will burn you to the ground, CM Punk, as Seth Rollins concludes Monday Night Raw with a huge message to Punk, and we will see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins on the debut on Netflix of Monday Night Raw on January 6th. And this has been your WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show. Please make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more WWE show reviews after every Monday Night Raw, and and Friday Night SmackDown, and we also do WWE show reviews after every premium live event right here on this sports entertainment channel, Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you, WWE Universe, and please make sure you check out more from Tim Reynolds Show, including my NFL content and more as we head into the new year. Happy New Year from Tim Reynolds Show. Peace out, everybody.